Hello everybody, you're ringside with Roy, and today we're talking about Kevin Lerena versus potentially Jai Opetaia. So why I say potentially is because this fight's not been signed yet. It's a bit of a dream fight for me. I think Kevin Lerena, I'm a massive fan of his as a South African. I always say if you're a South African boxer, I'm like my countrymen. It makes us sound like colleagues, but they are my countrymen because we're both South African. And Jai Opetaia, who's probably my favorite fighter out there at the moment, especially in the bigger weight divisions like the Cruiserweight division. So he's the king. He's the IBF and Ring Magazine champion, although he has now signed with Zuffa Boxing, excuse me, I'm not Eddie Hearn, Zuffa Boxing. And yeah, in an interview with SA Boxing Talk, shout out SA Boxing Talk, give them a subscribe and a follow on socials and on YouTube. They're a fantastic boxing channel. So they did an interview, like an exclusive interview with Kevin Lerena. He's just come back from a training camp in Thailand with Tyson Fury, who's preparing for his April fight with Arslanbek Makhmudov. So that's going to be an interesting one. He thinks it's very possible that Kevin Lerena will be next out. His next outing will be on that card, on the undercard, either in like a stay busy fight or maybe something a bit bigger. But he did allude to them that there's a potential for him. They were talking about a lot of different options, and there's a potential for him to fight Jai Opetaia, for him to go down to Cruiserweight and fight Jai Opetaia. So I mean, Kevin Lerena started his career as a cruiserweight, but he's in that like unfortunate position where he's like a really big guy. He's kind of like a heavy set, very muscular, but he's not like the tallest guy. I mean, he's still tall. I think he's 6'2", which is, it's tall by any standard. But his last fight out was against Lawrence Okoli. Lawrence Okoli is like 6'6" and 270 pounds or something like that. So, he's a massive guy. Like, and all the heavyweights are really big boys. I mean, he's training with Tyson Fury, 6'7". Like, it's really difficult, as he said himself, to get inside and to kind of affect or have any impact. And I think that it's interesting because he's campaigned now at Bridgerweight, which is his like ideal weight class, and he's campaigned at heavyweight. For him to go back down to Cruiserweight, like, would be a tough ask. But if anyone could do it, would be Kevin Lerena, because he's an athlete. He's the athlete's athlete, and I think he could boil down. I think he could still carry power at Cruiserweight, not like get too fatigued or too lethargic. But we'd have to see, because he hasn't made that weight in a long time. It's a 200-pound limit. It's a tough ask, for a guy who's walking around at like 107 kilos or something, like it's 105 kilos. And I mean, as I said, he's the athlete's athlete. So he's very mobile. He does a lot of cardio, and I'm sure with like the right nutrition and coaching, he could get that down. But my concern is more just because he hasn't been at that weight for such a long time. You're going in with an absolute killer, like in Jai Opetaia. He's like a fantastic boxer, and he's heavy-handed. Like, he's shown that in his last two fights. He's put together spectacular knockouts. So, Kevin Lerena is a big puncher as well. Like, he could definitely hold his own, and I think that would be a real shootout. Do I think the fight will get made? Well, just be really interesting to see if Zuffa Boxing would be interested in something like that. I think they would. I think there's a high probability that, if Jai Opetaia's team were interested, they could make that fight. So let's see what happens. Keep an eye out, and like and subscribe for more content.